Perfect. I think that's all the time we have.
What?
Oh wait! Wait!
The internet only has so much space.
Oh, good. I forgot. He's been shaking his head all night.
Our final guest this evening is he hosts the wonderful Pick a Side Stupid podcast and show that's every Friday. It's a hilarious show where comedians debate on topics, and he's also a hilarious comedian. Aside from that, please welcome Shawn Carter.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey buddy.
I can't believe Gary tried to end the show before I got on. He's being a real beehole right now.
Yeah, I thought you were about to have some coffee meat beehole.
Shawn Carter and I maybe my first friends in comedy is Shawn Carter and I met in the basement of Jimmy Tingle's off Broadway in Davis Square.
That's
where
right.
Jimmy was on stage going, "Joggers!" And it would be the first time of 12 years that I would meet Jimmy Tingle again and again and again.
Yeah.
Where he would be like, "I'm Jimmy." And you and I ate pizza in the green room.
Yeah, of course. Of course we did.
We formed a friendship, I think, out of just happening to be on the South Shore.
That's true. Well, you were a lot younger than me. You might have surpassed me at this point, but when we met, you're a lot younger.
And I always looked older than you, but I was a lot younger.
You grew up in Weymouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I grew up in Rockland, and I remember one night we were driving home from a show, and you were just like, "How come we never hung out when we were young?" Like, and I was like, "You were in 6th grade when I was a senior in high school. That's probably the reason."
You could have picked me up.
We're all three of us, you, me, and Gary, Shawn, are all kind of like older looking guys. Like I think we all look like we look kind of our ages now, but we've kind of always looked this old.
I was gonna say, I think that you and I have a reason to look older because Gary has no excuse.
Gary is 18 years old.
I know, he's a young man.
I don't think I look old at all now.
Oh no, that actually fixed it. You're right.
That does not help. Don't you think we've always had sort of like older? We've always looked older than we were, and we look the same now. Or is that just me?
So I guess I don't. I guess it's hard to like figure out what I look like to other people. Like, have I always looked like an older guy?
Let's put it to the panel, because I think Rachel, Caden, and Angela don't all really know our ages. So yeah, let's go. You know, we'll go Shawn Carter. How old? Rachel. We'll go Rachel Jane, Rachel Dunbar, Caden, Angela. How old is Shawn Carter?
That's a great question. I think it's hard to tell because the light is like behind you, and you can usually tell by like the condition of one's skin. Sound like an alien who steals skin. But I would guess, late 30s, 38. I'm gonna say 38. I think you're 38.
Okay. Rachel Dunbar.
I think I remember Shawn telling everyone how old he was during one of his stand-up bits last year.
But he does not write a lot, so it could have been an old bit.
No, I remember this being like his farewell show or whatever. And
you're on your retirement tour.
Yeah. Look, if your name is Shawn Carter, you got to keep talking about how you're going to quit. Like that's what you do.
I remember him saying something about being 38, and that was 1 year ago. So 38 plus 1 is 39. So I think he is 39.
And Caden, what do you think?
He looks really, really old. So I think this guy's got to be at least 17 or 18.
And
who is closest?
And the band, Angela, what do you got?
I'm 50 years old, which means I only know like 3 ages. 8, 23, and 37. And you guys are definitely all 37.
What do we get, Shawn?
Well, Rachel nailed it. 39 years old, and I think that probably me and Rachel have done the most shows together. Angela might be a little bit behind that, but Rachel probably has been around me the most in the past couple of years, I'd say. So no surprise there.
Well, let's see what about Gary? How old does everyone think Gary is?
Let me turn up my lighting so everybody can see.
Jesus.
Yeah, just really good to just make yourself look as much like Nosferatu as you can.
It's Close Encounters when the ship opens.
I don't know. It's like if you look like you've never been born and you'll never die. Like, what age is that? Like, it's just an infinity sign.
That's a guess.
That's a guess.
You know, I'm really bad at telling white people's ages because you all age like terribly.
Well, I mean, even by white people standards, Gary's.
Come on, you can't hurt my feelings.
I'm gonna say Gary is at least 80.
Caden?
Well, you really look like this character from Yu-Gi-Oh! named named Yugi. So, and I'm pretty sure in the show he's 11. So I'm gonna go with 11.
And 37 from Angela. Still.
No, you're 8. Angela, is that 37 for you, or does Gary get bumped up to the next?
There is no next.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, after 37, you're dead.
I'm hoping. I have. I'm really excited about my age now because I've always looked this age since 12 onward. I am 33 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Larry Bird.
Jesus.
Larry Bird.
Rachel is taken aback.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is her feelings hurt?
I'm not hurt. I'm just shocked.
Ah. Gary used to have a joke where he said he had reverse Benjamin Button disease, which is just regular age. But
Going up real fast.
It did not make sense. It did always work.
I got tired of standing ovations. Now for Rob Crane.
Yeah, how old am I?
I put all that light on you, Gary. What were you expect? There you go. Now you look
fire.
Now you look 22. There you go.
Oh, hey, you're all right, kid. You're all right. Now for the big one.
I'm gonna guess a 42, just because I have a vague recollection of you turning 40. I think you might have released a comedy album called like "Sad 40-Year-Old Boy" or something.
It's not far off.
Not far off. So I'm gonna say 42.
You know what? I'm looking at you.
Get close, Rob. Get close.
I gotta see everything. I gotta look in the mustache too.
Note the the beaten brow, the atmosphere. Clearly there aren't anything that he owns that's of value nearby. Look within the soul. You want to make sure that that there's no one, like if he died in that room, no one would notice for a very long time. That's something very important for his age. Somehow worn, yet doesn't have any sort of ability to raise children. Rachel, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with 45.
Caden.
He definitely looks I'm gonna say early to mid 60s. So I'll go 69.
Always funny.
Early to mid 60s, 69. I am 42, and my album is called Sadly Sacritan. So it is sad, but it's not. I don't mention my age.
It's just implied.
Yeah. Certainly, it's discussed in the album for sure.
Shawn Carter, do you have any impressions?
No. No. How long have you known me for, Gary? Have you ever seen me imitate anybody? In fact, to tell you the truth, I actually did once take a improv class. Micah Sherman was teaching it out of Improv Boston, and I think 4 weeks into the class, we're in the middle of a scene, and Micah stopped it, and he was like, "All right, listen, Shawn. I think you're funny, but you're just like every character you are is just you."
But that's
so. Give me something else. And I was like, oh no.
I feel like that's a style. There are lots of improvisers that are just themselves all the time. Would you say that's true, Rachel?
Yeah, and I guess it's like you can do that, but you have to be like so fucking funny to get away with it. Like you have to be like the world's funniest improviser to be yourself all the time. Because like you have to be surprising even if you're yourself. And so it's like, how do you fucking do that if everyone knows who you are?
Yeah, I'm also very bad at improvising, so it didn't work out very well for me.
I disagree, Gary. I disagree,
Gary.
You have a moment in our early mic history that I do remember to this day, where I think I said, go up, because they gave us a Vegas lounge, which was a billiards night on one side, and a defunct karaoke machine that we could do stand-up comedy on in a corner. And as long as one of us bought like a beer, they let us just keep doing this Tuesday night fucking mic. And I told you to Dane Cook it, because everybody was copying Dane at the time. And you went up and did your jokes about like landscaping, but as Dane Cook. Do you remember? Yeah. You remember what you did?
I don't remember the bits. I just remember that was the third mic we were hitting that night. So, and I was doing the same set. So like, I was ready to like fire off those jokes fast anyways. But I do remember just thinking like, all right, I'm going to say them faster than I normally do. And I'm also going to kick a door in at one point during the set.
You launched a kick at a table. Yeah. And I think you were just like, landscaping, what is it? Punch in the face. That was one of the things that I think I just felt. I felt for you that night.
That was a fun night, honestly.
We had good times. Shawn.
One of my favorite stories with you, Shawn, was so Ryan Shea, our friend Ryan, was doing his first like headlining show at my show, The Gas, and he asked you to host. And it was this is a very classic thing where there's, the audience all comes out to see their friend who's pretty new at stand-up but is headlining. And they just like, whoever the host is, they just hate. Because they're like, they want to be able to tell their friend later, like, that guy sucked, but you were great. And that's just the way it works sometimes. Yep. So they're going to hate the host no matter who it is. But then for like years afterwards, Ryan said he had friends that would be like, anytime they would say they were going to go to one of his shows, they would be like, but that Shawn Carter guy isn't going to be there, is he? And I'm like, he's funny. You're just wrong about this one. You have to trust me. But for years, the fucking Shawn Carter guy's not going to be there, is he?
Yeah, I know. It's probably my fault. I'm not a very good host. I hardly ever. I dabble a little bit.
You're a great host, and you did a great job that night. It just was. The audience was ready to not like the first person they saw.
There is like a weird thing where like I feel like when people come out to see their friend for the first time in stand-up, I don't know if this applies to like improv, but like in stand-up, somebody comes out to see their friend, they like want to be like, my friend was the funniest one on the show. And they almost look at it as like a competition with other people,
Yeah, I think that when your friends go see improv, they'll be like, yeah, I didn't really understand what I was watching. It all happened so fast. Were they all the same person? Like, was that all in the same place? Like, how did they all know each other? And just like ask you, and you just have to like, people know how to watch stand-up. They understand that like when one stand-up leaves, another stand-up enters. It's not the same room. It's not the same world.
Yeah. But people at the improv shows big. How come that Rob guy keeps putting his arms under every woman?
I remember when I first started with my group, Anderson Comedy, we would do shows, and afterwards people would be like, yeah, well, you know, not everything worked, but it was impressive that you made it up all on the spot. And I would have to be like, we're scripted sketch comedy. We thought about that, considered it, and decided we learned those lines.
I do like the idea of like improv audience being like a little combative, like because you're not their friend, and like just the person that's not their friend is like, can I have a suggestion? And the audience is just like, no, you cannot have any suggestion.
Bring on Jared. We're here to see Jared.
It actually is funny you bring that up, because for like 2 years I was the host of Cage Match, which is competitive improv. The teams play against each other. So sometimes like a team will bring like the entire audience, and the audience, like, there is a voting component, but the audience gets it into their head that they're not allowed to laugh at the other teams. So like they'll be these teams will just die on set on the stage because everyone is friends with the other guy, and he's just like, we can't laugh at these people. They're not who we're here for. And I'm like, you guys can still enjoy yourselves.
It's like a group of elderly Harvard admins too that just get punished by a group of teens.
I think that the where I see that the most is at open mics that are at comedy clubs, where comics will show up and they'll like make sure not to laugh at any other comics' jokes, because they're like, then they'll get work and I won't get work. So they just like an audience full of people like this the whole time. And then everyone going up for 3 minutes time being like, how's this? These are my best jokes. Nothing? Cool. All right, well.
It's rough, man. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I ran open mics for so long, and you know too, Rob, because you did it for so long as well. But it's just like, I feel like you have to put it out there at the beginning of the show. Like, there's nobody here that's going to book you for anything. So don't worry, and don't like hold back for anybody. And, you know, don't be in your notebook because you're the only audience here. So I really think that's like important at an open mic.
For those who have hosted an open mic, would it be a good idea to have like a big fishbowl, like the way that you have to put your cell phone in the fishbowl sometimes for like fancy weddings, but for like for notebooks, everyone has to put their little notebook in the fishbowl.
I do like that. I also like the idea of just dropping like notebooks in there, and then you have to pick one up on your way to the stage and read one randomly.
Man, I have so many notebooks from the people left at open mics. I think I have one of Tim Vargulish's, who's a guy that looks very similar to Caden Kill People, but is not. He's a different. I have so many just notebooks that have been left at mics over the years, and they're just my notebooks now. I just write them.
Oh man, so many people have left notebooks at mics, and I found one, and I don't want to go into somebody else's notebook. I don't want to read. I feel like I can't read somebody's half thought out ideas. Like, I feel like it's so personal. And I had this notebook and there was no info anywhere on it. And I was like, all right, I just got to open this up and see if I like recognize the handwriting or if there's a name on the inside or whatever. And I opened it up and there was this very crude drawing of like a young boy with his like penis sticking out of and it was a very pointy penis. And then across his chest on his shirt, it said Shawn Carter. And I was...
And you were like, oh, it's my notebook. Okay.
I was like, I guess I don't want to know what people are doing, like what they're doodling during the open mic. Like, this is...
Very pointy penis.
It is so pointy.
Shawn, can I tell you something I felt bad about for 12 years?
Oh yeah, of course, please. I've been waiting for this apology.
Boy, oh boy, here we go. You were one of 3 people that remained kind to me and nice to me, and you invited me to your wedding. I had no money, and I got lost along the way. Mm-hmm. And the $50 I put for the 2 people are coming. You're supposed to pay for your plate, and it wasn't $25 a plate as soon as I got there. But it's all I had. I feel bad. I had gotten lost on this bridge, and the guy said it's $3.25 or a $50 fine for not paying in cash. And I didn't have cash because I gave it all to you in this envelope. So I opened up the envelope and I broke the 50. So for your wedding, I gave you $46.75 in an envelope. I kept the change in there, and I always was like, that's shitty. And the day went on, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And it came to the part where the bride throws the bouquet. And the girl I had been seeing for 2 months, this is the moment that I snapped out of my own stupidity and said something worse. The girl I had been seeing for 2 months, I was like, do you want to go up and try and catch one? And she just like, no.
I really thought that you were going to say she caught it and then was like, oh.
She couldn't have sat firmer in her chair when I brought it up. Like, she slumped down.
So first of all, I remember that card, and I remember the change coming out of it. It's the reason that my wife and I got divorced.
You're welcome.
We fought over that for 2 years. I said, Gary's still a good guy. And,
she said, no, he's a vampire. Just look at him. He looks just like Nosferatu.
But I actually have a story of going to catch the bouquet and the garter. They have one where like the guy catches the garter, right? And whatever. And then you slide up the leg of the girl that caught the bouquet. And I went out. I was at a wedding when I was like, I don't know, 21 or something like that. And my girlfriend at the time insisted that I go out there and try and catch this garter. The bouquet had already been caught, whatever. I was like, I don't want to do this, but whatever, And I go out there. The woman that was throwing the garter, she was like a big girl. And I was not like against going out there for that reason. I just like didn't know anybody at this wedding. It felt weird. And she threw this garter, and every guy that was on the dance floor ran away. They all ran away. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to be an asshole. So I'm just going to like pick this thing up off the floor now. And I went to pick it up, and there was one other guy that had stayed, and he knocked me out of the way and grabbed it. And apparently what had happened is those two got engaged earlier in the day, and everybody had planned this and not told me. So yeah, I hate weddings.
That story is nailed perfectly by Rachel Dunbar with the title Shawn Garter. Nice job, Rachel.
Also, like, don't get engaged on the day of someone else's wedding.
I agree, yeah.
Fuck you.
Unless you date me for 2 months, then speed it up. I paid for Match.com. Let's
We're
get
so
that
happy
money
you're
back.
at your wedding, but just wanted to let you know, we figured out a way to make it kind of about us.
We've had a blast, Shawn. Your show is always wonderful. We want to end this show by ripping off your show with something from our show.
Yeah.
So your show, if people don't know, could you explain exactly what happens, where it is, where they can find it?
Well, right now you can find it on YouTube. Pick a Side Stupid is the name of the YouTube page, so you can just go there and watch. There's a backlog of like a bunch of episodes right now. There's also a podcast called Pick a Side Stupid. That's actually probably the best way to listen to it, because those are like live shows where we always had like a nice full crowd, and it was a lot of fun. And what we do now is I'll figure out what the topic of that week is going to be. Sometimes it's something like guilty pleasures. Sometimes it's an actor who we're covering. We've done Charlize Theron and Keanu Reeves. What we'll do is we'll just ask a question that has two different sides that you can take, and we have comics argue that. And each comic gets in one minute and a 30-second rebuttal to make their case. Last night we had a show, and I asked a question that was like about some of our favorite movies growing up. And I was like, all right, so would you rather see Ghostbusters in the movie Angels in the Outfield, or a version of Dirty Dancing entirely made of Muppets? And then like comics had to argue over that.
You usually host, so you don't get to debate. So we would like to see if any of the other performers would be willing to debate you, and we'll give you a topic, and then you can debate.
Yeah, that's cool.
First topic is being in quarantine like being an astronaut?
I'll take it.
You can choose either side of the argument. You can choose that being in quarantine is in fact like being an astronaut, or you can choose that being in quarantine is not like being an astronaut.
Was it 60 seconds on the clock? And I'll say time, just like you with your voice. Time. Do my Shawn Carter. It's a deep Rockland gravel.
Quarantine is not like being an astronaut, and I'll tell you exactly why. Whose sound is? I thought someone's phone went off. It's not like being an astronaut because I have personally thrown myself out of the window several times, and not once have I floated effortlessly through space while my head slowly expanded from the lack of oxygen, turning to icicles with each breath. Satisfyingly succumbing to the infinite beyond. No, I've merely fallen onto the grass or onto the pile of leaves or onto the snow in a very anticlimactic manner. If I were an astronaut, I would finally be in heaven talking to God and Jimi Hendrix and Hal Holbrook, who recently arrived as well. But that is not the case, and that is why quarantine is not like being an astronaut.
That was great.
Time, just on perfect timing.
I mean, there's a lot of great points made there. I would like to point out that astronauts do not actually go to heaven. When it's a fact, if you look it up, every astronaut that's ever died has gone to hell. So,
including Laika.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they're all there. You know, it's an easy transition usually because of the burning, and you know, it's not so bad. Like, this is dark in space. Yeah, okay. But I would say that quarantine is kind of like being an astronaut and being in space, because when it ends, I'm gonna have to like start doing like just some very basic cycling and walking to get my legs to work again.
Time. Nicely done.
Great. And then a quick vote. Caden, Angela, and Rachel, put your hand up if you vote for Rachel. And put your hand up. Oh, looks like Rachel won.
It's like Rachel won. Yeah, this is inspired by a recent road trip that Rob and I were on. Should you use a hotel safe to put your passport in?
If you're not planning on leaving the room while you're staying there, you don't have to include that part.
Yeah, I would say that you should definitely put your passport into the hotel safe, even if you're not planning on leaving the room, and especially if you're not planning on leaving the room, because I'm always looking for new and fun ways to lose my passport. You know, the old, like, I put it somewhere 6 months ago and I don't remember where it was because I never thought I was going to use my passport again. That's an old excuse, you know? I want to get to TSA and I want them to be like, where's your passport? And I'm like, it is in the Budget Inn in Charlotte, North Carolina, in a safe. But at least I know nobody else has it.
It's about time. Nice job.
Oh, great.
I don't trust them safe. Those are created by the government. I don't like those things one bit. If there's anything that Black people know, there's no other place safer than underneath your mattress. Okay, that's where all your money goes. And then when you die and they look into your mattress, they're like, Grandpa, you have all this money. Why didn't you ever pay your taxes ever? You know, this is why all those losers on Wall Street lost their money in GameStop. They didn't put their money underneath their mattresses. So no, I'm not trusting a safe at all. I've got my mattress.
It's about time. Vote for, let's do Rachel first, ladies. First, Rachel, if you think she won, raise your hand. Again, a sweeping loss.
Wow.
I feel like Shawn came on this show and, you know, we don't want to make him feel like a loser. Can I just give him one more topic against Caden Kill People? Shawn, you
masks.
I think go first or second.
Yeah, debate whether or not you should wear a mask to protect yourself from the virus.
It's tied into that. The question is, what is worse, not wearing a mask in public or not knowing about Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't know about Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm gonna say that not wearing a mask in public is worse, I guess. That makes me slightly better than if I chose the other thing. So, not wearing a mask in public is worse. I live in Tennessee, so there's a lot of people around here that don't get it. And you know what they do get is Yu-Gi-Oh! Every time I go to the grocery store, some moron without a mask on wants to talk to me about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, dude, I don't know what that is, but please stop coughing on me. And I really don't know what it is. So I feel like I could do a better job arguing this if I understood it, but I'm just going to end it there.
Oh, soft ending by Shawn Carter.
Tennessee is also the home to many Blue Eyes White Dragons. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Of course it is.
Are you freaking kidding me? How do you not know what the heck Yu-Gi-Oh is? It's like the most popular thing in the world. I don't even care if you wear a mask or not. I would actually rather that no one wear a mask and instead you wear a Yu-Gi-Oh card on your face, because I think people that don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh is should be put to sleep.
Oh my god. You yield the remainder of your time, kid.
Yeah, I'm just so frustrated right now because you take one of my favorite things in the world and you spin it and you make lies about it, and it's not cool.
Let's vote. Who votes for Shawn Carter? And who votes for Kill People? And maybe can we get one?
I vote for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Just one person. Can we just get our fan Nate to debate? Is Nate still here?
I think.
Yay! Yes. No. I'm still here. I put on my debating blazer.
Is Forrest Gump a good movie?
Answering in the affirmative, Forrest Gump is a good movie. Forrest Gump is a good movie because boomers need something to watch in the homes we're going to put them in very soon. Boomers need something to basically go to sleep to forever. And the thing about Forrest Gump is that what I like about it is that it glorifies the Vietnam War. It makes every president look approachable. It makes American victory over China by someone with a mental inhibition just, sweet. And then the one progressive person gets the disease they deserve at the end, right? So like it's I think that this is like the kind of thing. I know that my parents hate the idea that the world is going to go on without them. And if I could just sit them down now and have them watch Forrest Gump on a loop and just never have to talk to them again, that's what I would do. I think
time.
Yeah, I'd say that Forrest Gump is a bad movie because it has given me expectations that are too high for my son's life. And there's no way he's going to run a successful shrimp company. And it really paints an unrealistic portrait of an American life, I also hate that they gave him braces for his legs. It's very mean to do that to a child. They should have known that it would be better for him to have weird, messed up legs and back than to be bullied as a child. That's all.
Time. Wow.
Oh, great. Wow.
That was very heated. It was very back and forth. I think, the voting could go any way, Rob. I'm very excited. Let's get a final tally. If you think a super fan, Nate Gundy, won the debate, raise your hand.
3 for Nate. And for Shawn Carter. 3 for Shawn Carter.
He won. Well done, everybody.
That was wonderful. What a great way to end the show. Thank you so much for being here. Keep it going for all of our wonderful guests. Keep it going for Gary, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye,
Get out and vote.
I like that movie.
I disagree, Gary.
Thanks for
I
voting.
want to tell you guys that because I was playing, I couldn't hear what anyone said during the debate, and I'm excited to go watch it.
Yeah.
And I had a really fun time voting blind.
Nice.